Hello, and welcome to Office Hours with Amber. I'm Amber, and this is Office Hours. We are in the 5th week of September. And what that means, if you're new here, is that this is a bonus week. So traditionally, Office Hours with Amber was this little baby program I created to up-level my skills, sharpen my service. That service being that, yes, I run a business. Haha, gotcha. I run Peachy Profitability, which is a consulting, I would call it not your father's consulting firm, essentially bringing together people and process improvement, because one without the other just doesn't make quite much sense. So really, I'm aimed to make things better, faster, cheaper, whatever. Basically, what I do is I come in and align with you on your goals, help assess how far we are away from those goals, and then create a very specific advancement plan to get you where you want to go. Today, we have got so much to talk about. We have 5 million updates, and then we also have so much fun that we're going to talk about all the rebranding that we've done with K-Zoom and a cool interview that we did with Nora Duncan. I'm going to check audio. Perfect. She's on, phones away. Okay, so we'll tap into the Office Hours with Amber news first, and then we'll get into the Peachy Profitability land. So essentially, Office Hours with Amber was a brainchild I had after attending the 2023 Active Cell Conference, the Excel conference in Vegas. And then I went to the 2024 conference in Vegas and realized all of the things that I learned, like that I was told about in the 2023 conference. I had not actually done anything to improve my skills or learn any of these modern Excel techniques. So this year, each month, I have a different goal that I've been working towards, whether it's Lambda, Power Query, Power Apps, you name it. Like, really, I've just been digging all the way through. But this month specifically was preparing for the Excel Esports qualification round, which is a part of a long series of events where I've been competing monthly in like their in-season battles. But there's the qualification round, which we did on Saturday. And if you were ranked somewhere in like the top 256 globally, you get to qualify for the next round, which is like the quarterfinals or semifinals. Gonna be honest, I get lost in the sauce a bit there. This all leads up to a conference that is December 1st through 3rd in the Luxor Hotel in the HyperX Arena. Cool thing about that is it's not only this training conference that I'm a presenter at, and if you'd like to come, use my discount Peachy Pro for 10% off at theactivecell.com/shop. If you want to come see me present, there's also the live finals of the Microsoft Excel World Championships. Super wicked cool. So this month in Office Hours with Amber, I've been training each week to try and up-level my skills in competitive Excel specifically, because a lot of what I do is aimed at like more the industrial professional focus of Excel, and competitive Excel is just one side step to the left, which is where we start using indirects and offsets a lot, which that was the crowning achievement of this last month, is using those more in the competitive sense. And I have solidified myself a spot in the next, like I qualified, if you will. So now I move on to the next challenge, which is October 11th. And I'll be competing again, doing my live stream. If you want to go see my live attempt, which I thought was pretty garbage, but apparently everyone else was too. So the nice thing is all the training that we've done this year has paid off. And I actually, in comparison to the year before, last year or 2023, I was ranked like 223 out of 550. This year I was ranked 121 out of 600-ish. Just saying, continuous improvement works overtime. Anyways, okay, so in terms of Excel, that's kind of the updates. But we're not here to talk about Excel. Well, we are, but not really. Today we're going to be talking a lot about the rebrand, but other big news going on in Amber's world this week. My bestest friend in the whole wide world, Sam Setterblad, is getting married on Saturday. And this is the end of 18 months of us trying to plan a 300-person wedding with 16 bridesmaids, 2 wedding showers, and 350 guests. And you know what? It's going to be fantastic, and I'm really excited about it. So, yeah, Sam wedding, qualified for Excel. So, you might be asking yourself, Amber, why did you feel like you needed to rebrand? Because Peachy Profitability, nobody even knows who you are yet. Like, why? You haven't even had like an official brand. So why are we rebranding? Well, that's because my original brand, let's go on a journey together. Why the rebrand? I made my original logo in Canva. It has 2 sets of words and a peach. Just a stock image peach. Not that I'm saying this isn't cute, but she did her best for the time duration. And also, like, the peach is kind of like a butt. I think it's fun. I think it's cute. She's fine. She did her justice. But now let's imagine it's March, April, and I get a request, or I get invited to be a speaker at the Active Cell conference. And I'm like, oh, if people look at who's this speaker, and they go to my website and they just see butt peach. I'm trying to like give off the essence. We really need to go back in time. Every performance review I've ever had from any employer ever has always told me I need to work on my professionalism. I think I'm just a little too human for their liking. But to be honest, I have always needed to sharpen my professionalism image. But it's really helpful to be able to connect with people one-on-one and understand them better and like be able to get to the bottom of the problems. But sometimes when you're trying to, land new clients, it's probably, we just needed to sharpen it up, because also nothing against this logo, but it's just not saying much. It's just saying, I consult profitability. Peach. Like, it really doesn't say much. So the cool thing is today I'm going to be showing, I have about 30 minutes of content. I did an interview with Nora Duncan at KZoom. She's the one that did my beautiful branding. So you'll kind of see like little snippets of my logo all the way through, but then at the end you'll see like the official new logo, and then we'll talk kind of more about the specific intentionality that we have and a lot of the details and the cool kind of subtext that's going on with it. But yeah, most of this live stream is going to be me watching a video I edited at 2 a.m. Hopefully it was good. Let's find out. All right, let me pull up the video. Okay. Not quite. There we go. Uh-oh.
So my name is Nora Duncan. I started out in life loving both art and biology, and I also love people. And I had no idea how to combine all 3 of them together. And I went into biology as an undergrad in Western. I thought like, well, maybe I could become like a science writer, that kind of like I would have to be interviewing researchers and getting their story. So there's the people aspect of that, and there's some art, art and writing and that kind of stuff. And well, I just didn't feel like it was quite clicking. And then I discovered graphic design, and graphic design is something that incorporates.
I wonder if the audio. Okay, it's working. Fantastic.
People, because you're working with clients and you're working to capture their voice and their brand. But then you're also doing something artistic and beautiful. But then the science side of it is that you're working with kind of the math of optics and working with these kind of set rules and boundaries and almost like geometry in order to create something that's beautiful and pleasing and aesthetic, but then also connects people. So that's why I love graphic design. I fell in love with it and just stuck with it and do it every day and love it. And it's like the perfect mix of those three categories for me.
Side note, shout out to our boy James Wright, hailing from Australia. He is one of the sales business development managers at KZoom, and he's who got me connected from the chamber events that we went to. So shout out Jimmy and Nora and Dan and the rest of the team, because you're all hilarious and fantastic. Also, props to KZoom. They just won small business at the Chamber Awards. They won the Small Business of the Year, and I got a cameo. Woo! They used my new logo in it. Honored. So here I am. I'm going to honor you guys for the next 30 minutes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so with KZoom specifically, how did you find them? Did they find you?
That's
happenstance?
a cool story. So I was a senior at Western, and I was feeling anxious and freaking out about the job market and wanting a job. And I was randomly on Google Maps looking around Kalamazoo, and I saw a company called KZoom, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, what's that? And I randomly clicked them on Google Maps and saw that they were a really awesome, young, growing, vibrant, creative company. And I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I absolutely really want to work here. And I saw a phone number, and I always feel like it's better if you have an opportunity to talk in person with someone, either over the phone or face to face, it's always better.
Yeah.
So I called the number, completely cold call, did not know a single person at this company. The owner answered. Dan answered. It was the phone number on Google Maps was his cell phone. And so he picked up, and he was like, hello? And I was like, hi, I'm a student at Western, and I'm a graphic designer, and I would love, can I even just come in and just shadow? I don't know if you're hiring graphic designers. And he was like, I am hiring a graphic designer. Send me your portfolio. And I said, okay.
Side note, guys, I edit videos to make myself laugh. If that's just all you need to know about me.
And so it was a 2-minute conversation, and it was spring break of my senior year. And instead of going off and having a good time with friends, I just 9 to 5, probably even later than that, 9 to 10 or whatever. Every day for spring break, I worked on my portfolio and resume and sent it to him in a few days. And we went into a conversation. He offered me the job really fast, right away. And then he was like, just, take the month to graduate. And as soon as you graduate, you can start working here. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's how it kind of worked out. Kind of unusual.
Just the first phone number you find, you're like, well, hi,
yes.
Give me a job, please.
I don't share that story very often, because people who are struggling to find jobs in the job market, it's that's not going to help them very much. It just worked out so beautifully. It's kind of like when single people ask, how did you meet your husband? Being we met in middle school and
we're at a grocery store
and lunchroom. That's not going to be helpful to them.
Yeah.
So it just worked out that way.
Yeah. But like also what they didn't see in that story, like what people, when you're kind of telling the story, is beforehand they don't see the months of anxiety.
Yes.
And all of the other things you probably were doing at the same time as that. So
working so hard in school.
Yeah. And so that's where it's like, I encourage you to keep telling that story, because sometimes it is that random, well, they would never answer, or that's just not how you get jobs. And it's like, sometimes it is as easy as, I walked in, like my intern at Good Trade, my now full-time employee at Good Trade, when she was at a senior design project, she was like, hey, can I have an internship? And we said, sure, I guess. And then boom, she's like made her own path.
That's amazing.
Same thing with that, is like, it actually is it is good to tell people, like, you can just forge the path yourself.
It's true.
With a little bit of delusion and a spark, like a hint of imagination, poof, you're there.
Yes.
So
also, I feel like, yes, the cards fell in the right spot for me, but when they did, I was ready to work hard to take the opportunity.
Exactly.
Like, number one, like, call, like, don't just send emails or resumes online, like, actually work hard to have a face-to-face interaction or phone call. And then when the opportunity comes, be ready to work hard and have your portfolio and resume ready to go to like grab the opportunity when it's in front of you. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
The universe shakes things out, so the opportunities are there if you take the action to actually take advantage of those opportunities, which is huge.
Yeah.
Ugh, she's such a peach. What do most kinds misunderstand about branding?
I will say with how you worded that question, that you were probably the most informed client I've ever had. I was like, wow, Amber would make a great graphic designer. She's like right there. I think that
she was hamming me up.
Good branding is about capturing the emotion and the mission about who you are. So what clients I don't think realize is that when we're meeting together, we're two experts coming and joining our skills together. So it's not that I am the only one who's the expert in the room. You're the expert in the fact that you know who you are and you know the voice of the company and how you want people to feel with that company. So my job is to not just create something that looks cool, but also to capture the essence of your company, of who you are, and clearly communicate that. That's way more important to me. It's almost like I love swing dancing, so I kind of compare it to swing dancing a little bit, like the partnership. So in swing dancing, you have a lead and a follow. So the lead is telling the follow what to do through cues, and the follow is getting the cues from his hands and then doing a move that's beautiful. Like, I take your cues of who you say you are, what emotions you want to bring into branding, and from those cues that are subtle, I then accentuate everything that you bring to the table by then following your lead. And
she's literally such the most articulate princess queen I've ever talked to. So like literally, I like couldn't chop anything out of this interview because she just kept saying like the most beautiful things. So I'm watching this back with you guys, and I'm like, man, she's just so smart. Anyways, this is just like me talking about Nora for an hour, and I'm okay with that.
Doing, design dance move, if you will. Taking what you say and then making it beautiful and choreographed and lovely. But it's a partnership. Because I love people so much, I absolutely love sitting down in discovery meetings and diving into like, who are you? Like, I want to know who you are and what's important to you. I want to see you, because that will help me create a brand that will allow you to be seen by other people too. Wow, how cool.
What makes a client successful, and how often does she see them getting in their own way?
This is kind of more a lesson for all of life, but a good client is someone who has both confidence in who they are and humility to be open to collaboration. And so a good client will take into account that information, not just like, sometimes clients are like, no, I want to do this. I want to make sure I stick with this set of criteria for my branding. It doesn't matter, I'm not open to outside opinions. This isn't a collaboration, I'm more steering my own ship. That doesn't have a lot of humility or openness to design or collaboration. On the other side, if a client doesn't have confidence in who they are, it really, really helps me to hear I want to collaborate with you, but for sure I can tell you that this is not me, or this direction is me. I love it when clients are like, nope, that direction is not what I want. Because then it's like, great, like that doesn't hurt my feelings. That gives me information of who you are, and it helps me. Like my end goal is to get your branding to represent you. So having clear understanding of what you like and don't like is really, really helpful. But then being open to new ideas and feedback, and being open-minded to other ideas is also really helpful too.
Then this, I think, is so fun. We're about to show a little bit of the feedback session. So it's going to be a lot of like, I don't know, I find this stuff interesting, and it's cool to see like exactly what she just said was like, I take your cues, I make it choreographed and beautiful and artistic and fun. And then like literally I could throw any words at her and she's like, hell yeah, I'm in. I see what you're saying. We're going for it. So there's probably like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes of like just review session stuff. And this isn't all of it, but I think it was cool little moments that we had. So without further ado.
Cool.
Fantastic. Okay, let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, so I took like everything you said from these.
Let's also be so clear. In the first meeting, like she took all of my, like I basically brain dumped on the table. She took all of that information, and on the first try, I saw the peach and I immediately was like, oh, poof, like that's it. We're here. We're going like when we still explored around a bit more, but she like just like immediately got it. And I think I cut it from her audio, but she basically was like, that's like not normal. And so if you're going to get your branding done, you might get it on the first try, you might get it on the third try, but she did say it's not normal to immediately love one of the options. So no, she just like, she's locked in. She knew me. And then seeing all these color combos, so cool.
Different color palettes, and broke it down to what I think will be your favorite color combination, but we can discuss in between.
Perfect.
So those are my suggestions for your color palette over here. I then put that peach on the two backgrounds that you liked best. So you really liked this burgundy. You wanted something that was like in between the plum and then a burnt orange. So I came up with this like super rich dark burgundy, and then this sunflower yellow. This burgundy side is doing really, really well. The problem with this sunflower yellow side is that we're having areas of vibrating colors and low visibility edges. So what that means is if you look at this leaf, if it was grayscale, the contrast between the sunflower yellow and the lime green is so small that the leaf is kind of disappearing. And what it also is doing is if you stare at that seam long enough, the colors start to buzz your eyes.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments on likes or dislikes?
Yes. Love it. Literally so cool, and it connected everything. I think I'm not afraid of like putting the texture back on like the leaf or like any kind of gradient on the leaf.
Okay.
Then if that helps if you go to the next, the grayscale one.
Yeah.
So if you put the texture gradient on that, do you think that would help that problem?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's why I put that gradient back on there, is because like you can even see the difference between the stem over here and the point of the leaf over here, like such a big difference on that yellow background.
So I'm down with that. I think because of the other color combos that you did, I like the punchiness of the right side, not having the gradient or like the outer rim. But
I like this.
Yeah, and I think that punches enough that it's like not that part isn't the problem. So I think if we were to like gradient the green, like the leaf, I think that would break up that problem.
Okay.
And then if you go back to the grayscale one, that's a good thing to point out that it like kind of drifts right there. But also since it's a gradient, it's like I'm not as afraid in that moment, because it's to avoid all colors in that gradient is like impossible.
Sure.
So that's where I don't have the most of concerns, but the burgundy is super dope. So
Then these
either
two do not?
both flat or the inside like it's kind of 50-50. Like that's where I'm like I have no opinions because I really like the way it looks.
Sure, but for sure you don't like the texture right here.
Yeah, like just like the color, like the brown like happening. Because I think without the brown, you wouldn't actually be able to see the texture on the yellow.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Let's go ahead and just see what that looks like really fast. This is your major, this is your peach.
Cool. Yeah, I think like that's it. Like that works perfect.
Okay, so yeah, let's look at this again.
Yeah, see, like the texture on the inside, it like doesn't bother me.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
I like
because
that.
it's still continuous, and like you can't tell that there's no yellow texture on the right side.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
great.
then it doesn't feel like flat, you know.
Yes,
it's like still cohesive with the whole thing.
I kind of feel like there's.
It kind of feels like I'm speaking in tongues but like she picked up every half word I talked about, which was really nice.
Now a nice like
I love it.
Duality with like straight up vector, you know, clean matte without texture, and then moments where there is texture. I think that's nice. Sweet.
Yay.
Did you want to see what it looks like without the texture on the pit, just to evaluate?
I think I like it.
You like it? Okay,
yeah.
yay, that's perfect.
That.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we just have our peach. That's awesome.
Yay, that's great.
Yay. I love it a lot. It's gonna work, but let's just experiment and see what happens. So here's, I'm not sure, you'll either hate it or you'll love it. If you hate it, that is okay.
I'm not afraid of the top font, like the sharp script.
Yes.
And profitability is perfect.
Okay.
And it's like, I mean, the nice thing is we don't have to mess around with profitability. It's really just like, what is the perfect peachy to like encapsulate it, which is like, we're very close, but like, so cool.
Cool. Yeah, what that peachy is a choice. What do you think of the peachy?
The E is a little aggressive.
Yep.
And I can see people getting confused.
I can see that.
But and I think if we were to zoom way out, like it ends up looking like Poochie. You know, like if we were to like, you know, have bad eyes, I think people would I think there'd be a circumstance happening. The because there's the wave of it, which is cool, but the wave almost makes you can never quite tell if it's all lined up. And like I think it makes the eyes work almost a little too, and like that's like a crazy thing to say. My eyes are working too hard.
No, that's
but
good.
like, but with the waving, like it's kind of like
ooh,
but we're close.
Okay, cool, great. Experimented with a bunch of script fonts.
Yeah.
Thinking like, well, maybe she would like it if it looked like profitability was like very professional, and then peachy was hand sketched.
Yeah.
So I did those.
We're gonna do it. It's gonna be so good. I like because it's easy to like read the whole thing. There's enough depth in the letters.
Let's turn them white so that you can see them easier. This one, charcuterie.
Oh, she's a little rough.
Yeah.
If we had a smooth,
I love charcuterie.
It.
Okay, cool.
Then I was curious to see if there's any feedback she was surprised by during our sessions.
The discovery meeting was the meeting that most surprised me in a really exciting way, in the fact that you are a fractional engineer. So you're in an industry that, you know, feels very analytical, very mathematical, very industrial, but then you're Amber. So you're bringing...
That was by far my like biggest concern, was that I was going to end up, which if this would have happened, I would have been fine. But like, just like when you think engineer, you think gray gear with a wrench and like maybe some numbers on a graph. You know what I mean? And like, unfortunately, that's just never been my vibe. So it's like I think what she encapsulates well in all of this is like the duality of me as a person and then also me as an engineer. Is like underneath all of this brain rot and goofy, sparkly girl is like real technical background and a lot of ability to like continuously improve businesses. And so it's I've never been able to strike the perfect balance between showcasing my skills and being able to like really dominate engineering while also being just a girl. Like I'm just out here doing stuff, guys. Like, so, and I think the Office Hours with Amber has really, I think the Excel community, Office Hours with Amber, and like like the Chamber of Commerce in Kalamazoo, like all of these kind of together, like fostering like, hey, be you, be your little local crazy self, but also like my skills are continuing to like sharpen and do crazier stuff. Like in the last 12 to 18 months, I've done some of the craziest shit I've ever done in my life. I mean, even since I graduated in 2018, I just continue to do crazy stuff. And so anyways, what I'm saying is Nora understood exactly where my brain was from the jump. So back to her.
So you're bringing, your joy and zest and zeal for life, and your femininity and love of, softer aesthetics and colors to the table as well. So I was very excited to work with you in the fact that we had to discover this duality together of how do we capture both your analytical, professional side, but also not get the essence of who you are lost either. And that was like such an amazing, exciting challenge for me. And I think that the first meeting where we went over ideas, this doesn't happen every time. Sometimes when I present branding concepts to a client, they don't really like any of them. And instead we have to like take bits and pieces and information that we're getting of what you don't like and what you do like to go into a next round where then we get closer.
Yeah.
And I tell people whenever that happens, like, that's normal. Like, that's not bad. If you don't see something you like right away, that's okay. We're sorting through the weeds. We'll get there. But with you, I think I was pleasantly surprised in our first rounds of revisions where there was, your peach icon has the two parts where, it's the left side and the right side representing your analytical side and your artistic side.
Yeah.
And we kind of like latched onto that idea right away. So that was always exciting. I always love it when it happens to work out where you almost like a hole in one, you're able to find an idea that works right away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. No, it was super cool. And I'm glad because I was a little nervous beforehand of like, it is kind of a lofty goal of like, this is kind of not your father's engineering firm.
Yes.
So it's like, how do we capture, because of the entirety of my professional career, the whole way through, from
I'm just telling
Anheuser-Busch all the
stories
way to
again.
now,
Sorry, guys.
every review I get is, we need to work on your professionalism every single time, because I am just almost too human sometimes, and I believe people are people, and like,
And that sets you apart. That's beautiful.
Which I have thought the whole time, but now, back in the Anheuser-Busch land, it was just constantly berated, and so, which is understandable.
Sure.
I really needed to sharpen back then, and like the lifelong sharpening that has been required. So the nice thing is on the first go with the two-sided peach, like immediately was like, oh, that's it. Like,
oh, great.
Poof, there it is. Like,
that's awesome.
The gradient between of like the whole range of like people and brain and what the gap between what could be and what is.
Yeah.
And then the other side, just like not black and white, but like the brown and yellow is like clear-cut decision-making, analytical. So
what I loved about our collaboration is that you think so metaphorically, and which is why I think you would make a great designer.
I will say, every conversation I had with Nora was it's so nice to talk to heavily creative people who like, I get to like just let my brain be creative for a bit. And like, we both know that we don't have the right answer, but somewhere in between the cloud of us talking, it will come out. And so, I love deeply creative people because it's so nice to like, just kind of have this gray cloud of thoughts that eventually land somewhere. Because I think a lot of times engineering is there's an answer and like I'm just sprinting to go find it. So it's really nice to talk to like other deeply creative people that are like not uncomfortable with the middle ground of like, I don't know, let's see where it goes. Who could be sure? How exciting to find out. So again, Nora for president, she's the best.
Like even the direction that the leaf was pointing, you like had symbolism in that of like it's pointing forward, and just you think about things and see deeper meaning in visual communication. That is the way a designer thinks. That was really fun to work with.
Oh, good. We can blame Taylor Swift for that.
Okay,
because
cool.
Hell
like
yeah.
Really the Swiftie nation of like, they will find meaning in every single number,
Oh,
color,
that's awesome.
direction, pointing,
Yes.
like everything. So I've just given myself I think for many engineers, we don't give ourselves the allowance to like
we're always optimization and this and this.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, oh no, that color can mean something. The drapes are blue because something's happening.
Oh, that's cool. Is Taylor Swift dyslexic?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, but I'm dyslexic.
No way.
Yes, and it was a disadvantage when I was a kid. It's a huge advantage as a designer because dyslexic people tend to think that way, like find hidden meaning in things that don't feel related, and that's basically what a designer does. So dyslexia actually is an advantage. Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. Of course. What font pairing best describes our girl Nora? I love this question. And she lights up.
I'm going to do
wait a minute.
Subheader font.
One thing is she absolutely lights up at this question, which I also felt the same way. I think it is such an important question that I think gets slept on. So her answers are also fucking immaculate. So back to her.
Body font.
Perfect.
So header font, Hamburg hand, all caps with a
also
little
Nora,
bit of
I hope
writing
I downloaded the right one. Sorry.
Probably bold. It looks so good. So the reason I love this font is it's very blocky. It feels like it's kind of more slab, sans serif, a little bit more masculine, but the edges, if you zoom into the typeface, it's
I try to do it here. You can kind of see a little bit of the organic wiggle that she's talking about. But that's, again, such a cool thing because she's like, I spend hours looking through music and I spend hours looking through fonts. And the fact that she has even the intentionality down to the most minute pixel edge of these fonts, like clearly has been taken so many hours to like really perfect this craft. So I really appreciate anyone else who can talk font with me. So Hamburg hand.
There's a little bit of like non-uniformity. It looks like it's been carved from hand. Like it looks like it's maybe like from a block of wood or something. So there's a little bit of naturalness to it, or a little bit of like grunge.
Yeah.
So it feels like it should exist in more of like in an industrial space, but then it's a little bit more natural. Like it leans a little bit more
organic.
Organic, yes.
Cool.
So that would be my header font, beautiful font. Second, my subheader font would be opposite. It would be Ginger. Ginger is absolutely opposite of Hamburg hand. It's very feminine. It's very soft, very thin lines, very flowy. A lot of the letters actually will connect with the next letter to create these unique ligatures. Fonts that do that. Yes.
Delish.
Oh, beautiful.
Retweet.
Beautiful. And that paired with the Hamburg hand, just like you get the yin yang. And then body type. This is a common one. It's everyone's favorite. It's every graphic designer's favorite. So I fall into it, but I just can't do better than Poppins. Poppins is just
Poppins too good.
The wide X height, the readability, the clean strokes, just everything. It's like the perfect font. It's just a good reason it's popular.
It really is such a good font.
It's a great font. I feel emotional to font. Like I love them. So
I literally, and even like our first meeting, I was like, oh, I feel like bad saying this, but like I love Poppins, but I want to like pressure us to get out of it, but like God, Poppins is so good.
Oh, it's so
I will
good.
say the Gilroy medium, the Gilroy series.
Oh, Gilroy.
So good.
I love Gilroy.
I would say that's my font pairing for Peach Profitability is now Nexa Script and Nexa Script semi-bold, I think, and Gilroy medium. Fantastic. God, she worked overtime. She killed it. If people think Poppins is too cliche, I think Gilroy is such a good sidestep to the left.
Yes, I agree.
So the fact that you found that, I was like, ooh. So as I'm like writing with it, I'm like, oh, she cooked.
Yes. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Gilroy is up there. Hamburg hand is kind of similar to Gilroy a little bit. Yeah.
And any advice that she has for someone who's prospective in getting their branding done or working with K-Zoom.
I would say first piece of advice, sit down, spend.
It's like, sit down. Step 2.
I would say, step 1, sit down. Step 2, take a nice, hard, long look at yourself and figure out who you are. Decide what's important to you. If you have the time and are willing, I know this is a lot of work, but sit down and like actually make a mission statement and decide what your core values are. Make a vision statement. Decide who you want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. Dan, the owner of KZoom, one of the reasons I love working for him is that he knows exactly who he is, and he has his mission, vision, and values memorized, and he orients his entire lifestyle, even outside of work, around his mission, vision, and values, to the point where it's just everyday language in our office culture. And we're constantly evaluating, hey, one of our core values is care. Like, are we showing care to each other, to our families, and to our clients? Like, that is a daily conversation we have. Another one is availability and immediacy. We talk all the time, like, hey, are we being available and immediate with our family, with each other, and with our clients? So those are examples I would give of the most important thing, beyond like what colors you like, beyond what types of logos you like in your industry. Like, start with who you are. And then give us a call and have a discovery meeting. And there's absolutely no pressure after a discovery meeting to jump the gun if you're not ready. Just like, come and sit down and talk with us. We love meeting people. So
inside and outside of like branding, it's just life advice. It's like, sit down and look at yourself and like, what do you actually stand for?
Yes.
Because I think back in 2023, I'd never actually sat down or written my values.
Yeah.
And then that's such a start, because I think everyone in your mind, you're like, yeah, I value honesty and and working hard and la. But then when you actually like look at the list, you're like, what do I'm given 5 to 10.
Yes. And it's
what
hard.
are the hardest? Like, what are the most that I want to actually dedicate thought to?
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that it's like a daily conversation with yourself and others of like, how is this showing up in all sections of my life? Because if it's not, then you start to feel imbalanced, and that's when like the top just starts wiggling out of control.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's cool that not only in branding, but pretty much across the board, that's pretty universal.
Right. It's very hard. It's extremely hard and takes so much intentionality to sit down. There we go again. Sit down and take a look at yourself. But it takes even more intentionality to then like actually change your life based on what you believe in your core values. That is something like we work at it every single day. And we have long meetings with each other every single week of, are we doing this well? But it's worth it.
It's nice, like the more you talk, like look at your values each day, and you start to feel like one is just always lagging. It's like, is that a real value to you? Or is it actually aligned with, or is this like a performative value that you do for others? So it's like, what can we swap that out with? Which is nice, because I think the first iteration, I'm about to do a reassessment of my values. Because I'm like, well, am I really aligned to all of that still? And like, obviously you change over time, but it's nice that like, the more you actually intentionally look at it each day and like, it does, I mean, change your entire perspective on life, and you have a lot more gratitude for what you're doing, or like for the people around you, for the people you interact with, like.
Absolutely. I have KZoom's core values in my head of like, am I, now that I'm a part of this company, I really want to own this. Like, I want this to be who I am when I'm here. But then I have my own core values as as a person. That I have sat down and I have decided, like, this is who Nora is, this is who I am, and this is what I'm living for, and I want to live every day with this goal in mind. And I'm obviously not going to do that perfect. But it's always one of those things where it's what I'm striving for, what I'm aiming for. I want to live with that intentionality.
Absolutely. And being conscious of this subconscious behavior, like I think underneath it all, I, try to be honest and kind of this. But then when you start to put it like front and center, it's on a paper, you can see it in front of you, then it's like, it's almost impossible to not live by it. Or when people are infringing on like one of mine being honesty. When I felt like someone was encouraging me to lie, I felt really icky inside. I'm like, well, why do I feel so icky? It's like, oh, they're infringing on a value of mine. So like, it's so much easier to point to a paper of like, that's what's going on, not like, oh, I'm just feeling anxiety. Because I think a lot of anxiety is just unconscious behaviors that are infringing on values we don't know are happening. So it's cool that like,
this extends from Dan through K-Zoom, through your life, through your branding, through all of it, which is so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Any more words of wisdom or things that you think we did not hit on in this cute little interview?
This was
I think we definitely wrapped
it
all the way around. Yeah.
We got we started with just your logo and we went existential really quick.
Which I think is how most of our feedback sessions went. So really, the sky's the limit. But
yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I cut it off early, but first and foremost, thank you so much to Nora and K-Zoom for taking such care with my brand. And without further ado, I mean, this is not super shocking because I think I've been posting about it a lot lately, but out with the old and in with the new PT Profitability. Woo! So exciting. So I'm going to sit on this tab for a little while. I want to talk through some of the biggest beats that are happening here and how they connect to me as a person and PT Profitability as a brand. And so starting with the peach itself, originally we had the, I'm being silly. Oh, I've done it now. Oh, here we go. Originally we had the butt peach, which was cute. It was fine. It was a peach. That's all it needed to be. But in here, there's a lot of and actually, let me pull up the actual photos. Doot, 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 doot. I think that I have it in here somewhere. I am whiffing the ball. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Okay, so we got a lot of things going on here. And she's given me a lot of options as well because there is so many different backgrounds that work well with all the different color combos. She gave me some wireframes as well. So it's kind of nice to be able to, depending on the circumstance, be able to tap into these. So for instance, if I was to get one thing that I wanted to be cautious of is if I want to get a shirt made and I'm going to embroider something. Embroidering a gradient, I think, would be pretty tough, or getting it printed. And I think there's a lot of ways that physical media versus digital media could have been a problem, but she was so intentional, especially with the way that she was talking about the grayscale. So if someone was to print off a document that had my logo on it and it had a background that was of conflicting color, then that would be a circumstance where now our colorblind friends, would have had kind of more of an issue. And that's similarly with the sharp font that we originally saw. I wanted to stray away from things that people with dyslexia as well, or I wanted to be as accessible, think intelligently about accessibility while we were doing it. I'm not an accessibility expert. I'm sure that I've done some other things that are probably not accessible, but I tried my best to not make it too hard for people to just see a logo, you know what I mean, and see my branding. So anyways, so there's a few key features. One is the duality of the peach itself. There's two very stark parts. There's the gradient, which kind of symbolizes peachy, which is the kind of people side of peachy profitability. And this is supposed to be able to say from the gradient of all different walks of life and all different effort levels and all different skill levels, basically focusing on the people side is kind of the full range and spectrum you see here. The right side is more on the profitability side, which is more of my analytical engineering, by the book, has an answer, doesn't have an answer. But together we still have inside of that peach, inside of the pit of the peach, which the nice thing is now there's no question on if this is a butt, an apple, or whatever, because there's a pit. Inside of the pit, there's still and of course this is the PNG, so I apologize on the grain, but there's a grain here happening in this that is showing like even inside of the kind of black and white of systems and engineering, there's still room for some flexibility and some like a little bit of a dance of like, not everything's as black and white as it seems. There's always another layer of complexity, which I wonder if I pull up in the SVG, it'll not have the grain on it. Let's see. Yes. Oh my gosh. Perfect. So you can kind of see, and of course I'm being silly about this. So yeah, you can see like she did all of this like crazy brush stuff on it. So you can see that there's like still some like unspoken variety in there. Additionally, back to here, like you were talking about with the leaf, which is nice to kind of have like not just like all of the like it. I like that the leaf with the green kind of offsets a little bit of the like red yellows that were kind of in the sunsets. So the green is kind of nice to like offset a little bit. And as we were saying, the leaf points to the right, basically insinuating like forward momentum. We're moving forward, like pushing your business forward. And I like having this up and down because it kind of feels like a brain, like if you were to split my left brain and right brain, this is what I feel like my head looks like. And like the leaf is kind of like a light bulb going off of like, oh, I have this idea. And if you look at the whole entirety of the thing, it actually looks like a light bulb. And I'm going to get misty because this is so directly involved with my values, which is so funny to like figure that out now that we've accidentally landed among the stars. And I must pull open that file because such an important plot point. So like we were saying, let me see. Perfect. Okay, I'm pulling up the Canva file because this is important. So essentially I did with my ADHD coach, Lynn, we did a values assessment because basically when you get diagnosed with ADHD, like you don't really take full stock of your entire life and how much ADHD impacts every single thing that happens in your life and how many tendrils it just kind of like goes into all of your being. And so at the age of like 26, 27, when I was diagnosed, I realized that my entire motivational strategies and all of my systems were built off of a firm layer of shame because I didn't know that you could motivate yourself with anything else. I thought, well, if I don't do this, they're going to think I'm stupid. If I don't do this, or like if I don't know this, they're going to think I'm stupid, etc. Like it just like was incessant all the time. And so when I did that values assessment, and it was really important that like it was really nice to hear how K-Zoom has like such firm values and mission and vision, and like everyone is so deeply aligned to it because it's like, okay, all of the work I'm putting into my values is actually like I already knew it was useful because of how much transformation that I've had with that. And I sound really preachy right now, but I don't care. It's like literally changed my life. Let me see. I put it somewhere, which is hilarious. It's like I live by my values. Can't find the damn PowerPoint. Team values. There we go. So essentially, here we go. So essentially, I did a values assessment, and this is kind of, if you didn't know, Amber's values. And so it breaks down into like honesty, creativity, playfulness, catalyst, gracious. Those are the fundamentals. And then those are all directed and achieved through connecting with people, innovating, leadership, balance. All of that rounds up into radiance. So like if I live by all of those values and I really like live by those, my radiance and like my ability to like emit positive energy in the world around me, which guys, I know this sounds Looney Tunes, loony bins, but I swear that like the more you lean into your values and the more you don't lean into what you think other people value, or the more you lean into this like kind of abundance mindset and like living by your values, the more positivity and like the more opportunity comes my way. It's crazy because living in scarcity and shame was like circling the drain. It's just like my spirit got weaker and everything just like fell apart. And so through this as well, how I kind of envision my values in a different way. before I even talked with Nora, is these 3 light bulbs is kind of the black and white. I have an idea, like the creativity and a catalyst. Like I have an idea for something that could be improved. When I put together with like my innovation and my creativity and like my playfulness and my honesty about, you know, whatever I'm going through, that's when like the real idea forms. But it's only when I lead and connect with others and I'm able to like kind of connect with people that it actually becomes this like wholehearted big idea and like the most beautiful version of like that idea. And so light bulbs have always been kind of a connective thing for me. And so I, without even noticing, we have this like kind of brain with a light bulb, or the whole thing looks kind of like a light bulb. So that is a really special thing that I just found out in this moment. But anyway, so that's kind of the key part about the peach. There's the little technicalities of like why we chose exactly these colors, but she showed me so much good stuff. So I love it. Additionally, the peachy profitability. Peachy is like the loose, the handwritten, the script. It similarly follows the same pattern as this is people, peaches, whereas profitability is like sharp, structured, industrial engineering. All in all, I'm super stoked about it. I'm really excited to like continue seeing how I'm going to reevaluate my values and like make sure that I'm still like, I'm excited to like, this is the first step in a long line of steps that kind of leans into like the reimagination of peach profitability and like really scoping out like as a business, what do we stand for? And like the funny thing is it's hard to say, like it's not hard to say what we stand for because it's we as in me, as in one person. But eventually I think about it and I'm like, well, Amber, you know this is going to be bigger than you. And like I'm like delusional in it's not even delusional because I just know that like once I can firm up like exactly how I pitch myself, exactly how I find the people, how I get connected with people that need the services that I'm providing, like there's going to be a whole team of us. And I'm excited that my brand emulates the same idea and like feeling that I come to it with. And so it's a nice visual reminder of exactly why I'm here and exactly what I'm doing is like, I mean, really, I'm here to help people do more with less, better, faster, cheaper, whatever. Like if we really get back down to like the brass tacks of all of this, actually, let's go back to this. And I'm not going to cry, so don't try me. Basically, yep. I'm just a sappy girl at the end of the day. Anyways, how to describe. Growing up in a house of like, this is crazy. What is going on? Okay. Anyways, I grew up in a house with like 2 very hardworking factory working parents. And it really just like, I didn't really formalize this thought until I was kind of halfway through industrial engineering as a degree. But like, they spent so much time and so much like of like breaking down their bodies and their time and their efforts for a company. And it's like, that's where I come in with like a Bruce Wayne level, like I want to avenge the time that these people are losing working in these factories and like when there's better ways to do things. And that's where I think my like deep under everything is how do I help people get back to their families and like live happy lives? This is silly. If you've watched this long, I am so sorry that I am losing my marbles. Anyways, I'm good. I'm just very excited that this branding represents the first step in a very long journey to help more people do more with less, get home to their families, and like take back the time that like we've only got so much time. So it's like, yeah, we can make shareholders more value for sure. But being able to like give people time back to their lives or capacity back to their work week or whatever, to be able to go do what they want to do with their lives is so deeply important to me. I think I'm in my luteal phase. Anyways, I appreciate you for watching this video. Thank you so much to KZoom. I really got to get this together. Anyways, it's my podcast. I can do what I want. Thank you to KZoom for making my sweet little peach come to life and being a part of a very long journey to being a vigilante for the people, because life is not that serious. We need, like, work is not that serious. Let's make it a little better so everyone can go do what they actually want to do, or make more money, or have less injuries, or have less problems. But I don't think I've actually I think I'm having a stroke. So yeah. But that's Donna. That's James. And that's actually funny. It's like they also are the two halves of the peach. My mom is like people, the full range of emotions, the full range of like human experience. And my dad is very analytical, black and white, measure twice, cut once. Like, so really my brain is the two halves of them coming together. And so, yeah, I'm excited. If you would like to hear more about, where are we going? Okay, we're rounding out the hour. I'm going to go hang out in the chit chat chamber of the Discord. Yeah, I think I've repeated myself 17 times, but that's okay. Next month. So the cool thing about Office Hours with Amber is next month I will be doing presentations like a pro. And so, of course, my PowerPoint skills, I've always been kind of a bullshitter since day one. And so the fact that the Active Cell Conference invited me to be a presenter, I'm trying to make it the funniest. I'm trying to make like really bring the true essence of Amber Johnson to this thing. So I want the two parts of, one, really impactful, inspiring content, but two, make people laugh and make people feel human. Because really, I mean, that conference is so exciting. I mean, I could talk about that conference all day. We're just going to keep chit-chatting for a bit. I would encourage anyone who has, like, if you are at your company and you feel like the data island, like you're kind of off by yourself, you can't really talk to anybody else about the, like, oftentimes the Anheuser-Busch, I felt like there's no one I could talk to about Excel, or I could talk to about data that cared as much as I did or was as interested in continuous improvement and automation as I was. And so if you are anywhere near, if any of what I just said resonates with you, I absolutely recommend going to the Active Cell Conference in December 1st through 3rd in Vegas. And you might be, and if you need the discount code, I'll flash that again, but 10% off with the Peachy Pro discount. My first year, I had like $0 to my name. And so what I did is I bargained with local businesses, and I went around and I said, I will give you free consultation hours if you will pay my way to go to this conference. So if you feel like you don't have the money or the support, a lot of people will pay, you know, especially if you just volunteer, like, hey, I'll wear your merch for a few days in Vegas. Good work. So all I'm saying is if you feel like you want to go to this, I absolutely encourage you to, because it's the people in the room and the amount of like passion they also have for continuous improvement, problem solving, data and analytics. So anyways, this has been a deeply personal hour with Amber. So next week we'll be back to regularly scheduled activities with the first week of PowerPoint Like a Pro. And I'm going to be watching like kind of more, I'm going to watch a little bit of presentation tips, but then also looking into like high tech, like new PowerPoint updates, because I haven't really given like consistent official PowerPoint like decks out in like 2 years. Because Anheuser-Busch, it was like every week I was presenting to somebody, but now it's like Luxor. So I'm excited to kind of sharpen those skills because it's been a while. But anyways, enough of me. Have a wonderful Monday, and I will